All right, guys, here we are with the C8 Corvette Z06 again. Looking at the front end, one thing I'm really missing on this car is the Z07 kit. But luckily, Segala Designs, they got us covered. Let's talk about it. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the vlog. Thanks for pressing play. As you guys know, when I first went to order this C8 Corvette Z06, I really wanted the Z07 package car, but of course it was on constraint, and Segala Designs contacted me and said, hey, we got you covered. So we're gonna go ahead and add some Z07 parts to this car. By the time it's said and done, you're not even gonna know this isn't a Z07 package. So let's jump into it right now. So with the Segala kit, guys, we are gonna start at the front, which means we gotta remove the front bumper. Now, why we're starting at the front is because I've got a bunch of other things I'm gonna be installing at the same time. And the big one, of course, is going to be the dive planes and the front splitter in exposed carbon fiber. Now, this build, you can tell, obviously has the front splitter in carbon flash. And I'll be honest with you, this was added by mistake. This was not supposed to actually be on my build. I put it on there for some reason, and I still to this day don't know why, because I had this stuff lined up for about a month before I even bought the car. But regardless, that's coming off, and exposed carbon fiber, the dive planes from Segala are going on there instead. So the first step, we got to remove this bumper. The first step is going to be to go ahead and remove all the trimmed panels here. They all just pop out with a little bit of force, but they're all plastic clips basically. We need to gain access to the screws that are at the top here. With all the pieces out, they're all just clips. So you can literally just grab it and pull it, and it gives you access to the T15s that we're gonna need to remove on the top of the bumper. Next, we're gonna come under the car, guys, and we have a whole bunch of T15 screws that have to come out. So all the way down along here, all the way on the center part there, and in the front, all of these have to come out because these panels actually will pull out, so we have access to the bolts that are underneath it. And some of them on the center part here are 7mm bolt heads as well. So you'll need a T15 and a 7mm socket to get all of them out. So with all of the panels removed from underneath, like I said, a lot of T15, a lot of T7 screws, we're then going to go ahead and remove these T7 or 7mm screws, sorry, right here, right here, right here, right there, and right there. And this is on both sides. This is kind of a support for the front and the front splitter specifically. So those all have to come off, and it's the same exact setup on both sides. After you're done at the bottom, we're gonna come into the inner fender well here. We're gonna remove a couple more T15s on each side. So once the bolts are out of the fender, we're gonna come up in the fender well there, and you can see that electrical connector on the passenger side and driver's side. We need to undo that electrical connector. There is also a 7mm bolt that will be right there. So right where the bumper splits from the fender here, there's a 7mm nut that goes, or bolt that goes right there. So after you get the electrical connectors on both sides, you can actually just grab the bumper here and pull it out, and it will decouple basically from the fender here. We're gonna do the same thing right here, pull up, and it will decouple from there, and then we should be able to just pull the bumper straight off of the car. We got the front bumper off. Now we got it on a stand over here. We're gonna go ahead and work on getting the front splitter, the OEM one, off. There's a bunch of 7mm screws and some push clips right here that we're gonna go ahead and pop off, and then ultimately all three pieces of the splitter will come off. And then that will allow us to move on to the next stage, which is gonna be cutting some holes. Well, those are really not on there very tight, are they? Not a whole lot of torque on these guys. So some of these are low profile enough you're not going to get an impact on. You're probably going to need a ratcheting wrench of some kind. With all the 7mm bolts and some push clips out, we can go ahead and remove the stock splitter. And then we are left with nothing until we get the Segala one on. So like I said, the next step is to start cutting. And yeah, it's gonna look great. I mean, the carbon fiber parts from Segala look really good. They're finished really well and really nice looking carbon fiber. So let's go ahead and start putting together this front splitter, and then we're gonna get it added on after we start making some cuts on this bumper for those dive planes. All right, so to get this started, we're gonna put some painter's tape here. They do provide a template that we're gonna put into place. Then we're gonna make some Sharpie marks on the tape, and that's where we're gonna cut. So this is kind of how their instructions tell you to do it. So this is probably the best way to make sure you're able to see the lines really well, and then afterwards just pull the tape off, obviously. Now there's only 3 slits we have to cut in this, even though there is 4 clips and a 5th screw. But the 3 slits here are what has to be cut. The other ones reuse a screw for the splitter and a clip for the splitter as well. There it is. Wish me luck. Next step is to install the dive plane. So yeah, we should be able to slide those tabs right in there. One of the tabs goes here, and the other one will actually share a screw with the splitter right there. Then just the 3 tabs will go in here with clips in the back. Now the side skirts install is actually a lot easier on the C8 Corvette Z06. So the side skirt's not super long to begin with, but there's no rivets, there's no tape, there's no nothing. It's just 7mm screws underneath there. So these are gonna be almost a treat after doing the front bumper. You can see the 7mm screws right there. And then of course a push clip, and then some more 7mm screws and another push clip. So we'll go ahead and remove those, and then we are good to put the new one on. All right, so literally maybe 5 minutes worth of work here, guys. There are 8 7mm screws holding it in, and then of course the 2 push clips, and that's it. Now, if you were wondering what the car looks like without it, you can see here there are pre-drilled holes and everything, so you can't really take the side skirts off and have it look good. Not that you would want to necessarily, but there's the carbon flash version. And then of course the carbon fiber version right there. So gonna look a lot better on the car, a lot more premium. Now, for those of you wondering again, this is carbon fiber. So painted carbon flash, but it is still a carbon fiber piece. So if you get the carbon flash painted side skirts, just know they are still carbon fiber underneath that paint. Anyway, let's go ahead and transfer the clips over and put the carbon fiber one back on. And there it is, all done, guys. Very, very, very easy, very quick, beautiful exposed carbon fiber weave. Looks way better on the car. Definitely the way it should have come. Love it. Too bad the entire install of this kit wasn't as easy as this. A couple 7mm bolts and 2 push clips, and we are done. And here's what we're getting installed today, guys. The Segala Designs front splitter. Look at the carbon fiber on this. If any of you were ever wondering about the quality of Segala Design stuff, yeah, wonder no more. We got the dive planes, the front splitter, and then of course the mystery item that they are bringing with them. So yeah, but again, it looks fantastic. I cannot wait to see it on that car. Looks like you guys come prepared, huh?
Yeah.
Got all the freaking tools in there.
Yeah.
I'm surprised like the airline would let you fly with stuff like that.
Yeah, as long as it goes under the plane.
Oh, okay. All right, so guys, this is Alex, right?
What's up, man? Yeah.
And
Adrian.
All right, so these are the guys that typically, you guys do all the installs? Every single one. All right, so these, if you go to get this installed yourself, you'll see these 2 at your house as well. But yeah, they're about to tackle this thing, and it's gonna look freaking awesome, guys. Like I said, the quality of the parts are already really good. I can't wait to see it installed. So interesting enough here, my work is being undone almost immediately. They're putting the bumper back on. Apparently it's easier for them to cut the holes while the bumper is on the car. I was a little scared to do it, period, but doing it on the car would have been scarier, in my opinion. But these guys have done like a million of these kits, so makes sense. Looks familiar so far. We did something similar.
There you go.
I think the difference is you're going to cut those holes as wide as the black that you marked on there.
Yes. Yeah.
That was my problem. I couldn't cut them wide enough. I didn't have the tool for it. So.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, we brought the tools for it. So yeah, the way the template is, that's exactly how wide they have to be, and that's where you actually start measuring the dive plane, kind of seeing where you need to shave more, where it's good. So
okay,
that's
perfect.
How we do it.
So yeah, this is definitely the most nerve-wracking part, guys. $160,000 car, we're cutting into it. Always fun.
Bet you didn't go that easy.
I hate when people make things like that look easy, because that little bit that I did took me like an hour and a half. So do you put the front splitter together before you put it on the car?
Yeah, so
Okay.
it goes on all in one piece, and then that's when we actually start bolting up all the top bolts and the clips. It's
Okay.
actually once it's on the car. So right now I'm just putting it together, and then we'll be able to get it all aligned on the car once it's ready.
Awesome. The single most important part of any Corvette. This is the thing that changes the look the most. It's already looking better. The front splitter just makes such a massive difference on this car. So I'm seeing the bumper for a while without any splitter on it at all. Now I got the carbon fiber one on there, looking freaking phenomenal. It's a nice contrast between the black and the carbon fiber. It's gonna look awesome. And then the notches here, guys, cut out in the bumper for the dive plane, and then a notch in the actual splitter here where it shares a bolt with the dive plane and the splitter. It slides right in there. Really interesting design here. Well, these things look freaking awesome, guys, but it's gonna suck to clean in between there. When bugs get in there, pretty much guaranteed it's gonna happen. There's gonna be definitely some sort of special cleaning method for that. But yeah, this car looks a million times better with the Z07 kit. Much better. Look at that. This car is made to be a Z07 for sure. That looks a million times better. Yes.